So the season begins. We've just received a call that somebody's found a little baby clinging to its dead mother, and they've been looking after it.
First baby of the season. Where are we going, Dave?
We're going to meet the people halfway. They come from Dendron. We're going through to Sukmakar now. It's about an hour and a half's drive to get there. This little guy's probably about 3 weeks old, is what I've heard. Not too sure of the circumstances yet, but I'm sure we'll find out when we get there.
Nice.
This is our next nearest little town called Majajiskloof. There's also a very subtropical little area. There are monkeys that live around here up in the mountains, and in fact this is one of the areas that the first monkey for the foundation was actually found up in Majajiskloof.
Just coming through Mackenzie, over halfway.
A little bit more than halfway. So we've got probably about another half an hour to go.
Half an hour.
So they mainly grow avocados here. So avocados and tomatoes. We've just taken the turn off to go now towards Sukmakar, so it's not much further to go. Is quite a little bit of a ride, but here we are approaching the town, and then we'll try and find the person who's actually going to hand over the monkey. So here we've just met Albert. He was the guy who found the monkey clinging to its mom. He's not too sure what the reason was. Since the mom was just dead up there on the farm and the little baby clinging to her, and he took it home and has basically nursed it for a little while, and then managed to get hold of us to let us know about it. And he's driven all the way through from Dendron, which is about the same distance from Sukmakar as what we are, and so he kindly met us halfway and has brought this little one over to us so that we can start looking after it and finding it a new mom. While we get Albert just to fill in the forms for all the formalities so that we've got all the correct information. I'll just quickly giving the little one a once over, getting the nappy and things like this removed because we don't really like them to wear that type of thing, and just quickly trying to see what sex it is. And of course we can find out quickly that this is a little girl. Albert actually thought it was a little boy. Unfortunately, if you don't have a little boy, it's very hard to tell if little girls are boys or girls. It's they all have a little appendage, so very difficult in the beginning stages. And formalities over, and we're going to start heading all the way back to the foundation.
So our staff will be glad to hear that. So there you go, little one. Huh? Yeah.
So it does look like she was looked after pretty well. Albert said that she did go to bed fairly easily in the evenings and woke up around about 4 o'clock when he woke up in the morning, when he used to feed her again. So she has been on a diet of cow's milk and raw egg, which is a little bit high in the protein sources, but we'll get that sorted out as soon as we can once we get home. He said her stomach and everything's been working well, so seems like everything's fine with her. There shouldn't really be any problems. Looking very, very healthy. We'll just try and give her a little bit of rehydration while we make our way back to the foundation.
So this is the little one we've just picked up. Dave's just stopped to get some water. I think you've just pooped on me, haven't you? Yeah, because it stinks really bad. But she's settled a bit. Dave back. So we've got about half an hour to go before we're back at the sanctuary.
Well, she's found a nice comfortable place behind Mark's arm, and that's where she's fallen asleep and resting. Don't know how she thinks it's comfortable, but anyway, that's this little one sleeping nicely, and we're almost at the foundation now, and we'll be handing him over to everyone else who can start looking after the little one and make sure it's fed and doing okay.
I don't know how this is comfortable. Huh?
Pretty little animal.
That's right. Screamed herself to sleep.
And here we have foster mom Ellie, and she's going to do her magic, and will be the first one caring for the little one and seeing how things go.
It's your face.
So we just got back. She slept most of the second half of the journey, thankfully, on the back of my neck. So she seems quite peaceful now. Starting to relax. First visitor. This is SD. This is SD.
Well, she seemed to enjoy her new milk formula and guzzled it down, and of course this has given her some hiccups.
Devour it in like 2 minutes straight.
Well, there we go. This is the first little one of the season called Cupcake. So I think it's quite a suitable little name. So people do pay to name the little ones. It is a way that we raise funds, and we do have a waiting list, in fact, of names that people have chosen, depending if they're male or female, if they'd like to name a little one. So this just helps pay for the microchips and the initial vet fees and that type of thing at the foundation. So hopefully we're going to follow a little bit more of her story in next week's episode. But I've still got a little Floki to get some updates on him, and we're going to move over to Floki now and see how things are going on that side.
I would be just cautious. Do you want me to hold it while you...
Well, season 4 has slowly crept up on us, and preparations are being done to get the enclosures ready for the little ones for this season. Jason's busy disinfecting, cleaning the cage down, making sure Disneyland is in a state to accept the little babies, and just make sure there's no holes or anything in the enclosure, so they can all come down. Of course, Floki is going to be the first one to spend a bit of time here, and then Cupcake will be coming down a little bit later, getting used to Disneyland and enjoying themselves there.
You like it? No?
Well, little Floki seems to be doing okay. We do have to be careful with head trauma patients. We're not really too sure what's caused the damage as such. So we have made an appointment at the vet, so we will be going over there soon. Also of concern is the movement. You can see the legs aren't functioning too well, so we're not too sure what's caused that, if there's any breaks or anything that haven't been attended to earlier. So it's very difficult when you just take a monkey over and there's no real history of what's really happened to this animal. We do assume it was involved in some kind of car accident. That's why it's got the head trauma, and this could have caused the trauma to the legs and things like this as well. But we'll get some answers from the vet, but then again, they can't tell the full story. They can just tell you what's sort of going on with the body at that period of time. So our thing is at the moment just to find out stuff that he likes, get him eating, get him drinking, try to get a little bit of his weight up, and then as soon as he's looking a little bit better, we're going to pop over to the vet and see if we can find out further what's really going on.
Sure.
He does seem interested in the outside world, and at least he does react, so we do know he has got some sight, but because of the dilation of the pupils, we know it can't be very good at the moment. This could also be caused by the head trauma, but you can see there is definite reaction. He does seem to be seeing stuff. We're not too sure how well, but he is attracted to the sort of doors and looking out, and he did react to some of the other monkeys passing by. So the appointment's been made. We have to be very careful because we need to get the little guy there and back as soon as possible, because vets' places can also be fairly noisy, and for this one it might be a little bit traumatic. So we're trying to arrange that we can go there straight away, get his x-ray and everything done, and then bring him straight back home so we can just put him in a quieter environment.
Or we call a luxation of his right hip. So you can actually see both. So he's definitely, it looks like he was somehow kept in an abnormal position, or trauma or something, because his left is also not normal in his socket. You know, he's still young, he's still growing, but this right one is completely out of joint. And that's definitely what's causing the knock knee, definitely what's causing the falling over. I did actually let him in the x-ray room walk a little bit, and it is definitely to do with this that he can't, that he's falling over and everything.
So it's the right
one, yes.
Right.
And that's the one that's the worst knock knee.
Yeah.
That's exactly the one we saw that folds in, and it's abnormal because his whole the joint in the hip is abnormal.
Yeah.
It's completely out there.
Okay.
Left is also not perfect, and that's because of early in life, definitely pulled some type of trauma. At his cranium, he did have an old fracture.
Yeah.
You see there. Sorry, I'm zooming in a lot.
Yeah,
there.
Okay.
It has healed. I cannot feel it very distinctly when I palpate, but it's definitely there.
Okay.
Again, head trauma, foul, most likely. This is most likely also the reason that he is this psychological, delayed, all of that.
Okay.
Most likely the reason for that. But again, when I was doing this, he's responsive. He's not.
Okay, so we just finished at the vet's. The vet took x-ray of the little guy, and he does have some fractures on his skull, and his right leg was dislocated. So at some point he may need an operation to have a femoral head removal, and we're just going to be on our way back to the sanctuary, but she is hopeful for him, and hopefully he can meet some friends at a later stage. So for now he isn't quite fully aware, but it is good news. So let's see how he does, get him back to the sanctuary, and she said to keep her informed.
Just trying to entice him with a little bit of milk to show the vet his movement, so they can make a nice proper assessment, so we can see when we can take him in to get his operation. Well, Disneyland's now nice and clean, so we are going to take Floki down there so he can spend a little bit of time in Disneyland, get a little bit more movement, get some nice sun, basically see other monkeys in the area, He can do a little bit of interaction, which is great. So it's just nice for us to be able to monitor him a bit and see how he actually copes. As you can see, his movement's not very good, especially on the one leg. So he can move around at least. I mean, that's a good thing. So everything's there. So and I mean the legs are functioning. So that's very important. So the doctors can hopefully do something for him. So the exercise will do him well. I mean, look, he has developed his own little technique of jumping around and moving and things like this, which is quite amazing with these animals. If he was out in the wild, he'd just have to cope with his situation, and he'd probably learn to adapt and carry on just the way he is. But we just feel that if it's something that's man-made, we should really interfere and rectify it. And of course, this was a man-made incident, so it's something we have to put right for him. There's a monkey on the roof that's come to visit him, and that's who he's actually talking to. These are all positive signs in the end of the day. At least he's not frightened or scared of any of the wild monkeys, and he seems to want to interact with them. So hopefully it's not going to take too long after the operation for him to be able to join a troop or interact with some of the other monkeys. Well, again, thank you everybody for watching. The season has just begun, so we'll watch the progress of these two at the moment and see how they go. And I'm sure there's going to be a few little updates along the line of some of the other monkeys you've got to learn about, and we'll see what we can do. I just got a little short clip here to show you how Jinx is doing. He's actually doing very well in his new enclosure, just sitting there relaxing as if he's been there all the time. How's that for you? There's Jinx, really having a great time. Thanks again for watching. Thank you for your support. Please continue as much as you can, guys. We need you. We need your help. It is making a difference, and it's amazing we've survived 7 months, going on 8, and that's all because we've got a great following out there and great members and people helping us. Thank you very much.